and welcome to Meow Mix, a Carolina Panthers podcast. My name is Jerry. Steven is out robbing a train or doing something in Oklahoma. I don't know. But he'll be back hopefully later this week with just kind of give his opinions on the free agent signings. But I wanted to go ahead and put something out, especially because the Panthers were busy, very busy. Unfortunately, the big news kind of fell short, or it popped early and then got swooped in by the Patriots, which I'll go over here in just a second. But start off with happened before today. Austin Corbett signed a one-year deal to stay here at center. I like this. I like going ahead and keeping that five together. Unfortunately, he got injured, but I think with Cade Mays getting that restricted tender, he'll be back as well. So I like that. I think that helps the O-line stay congruent in everything. It will hopefully be very beneficial. I know Corbett has injury history, so I'm assuming it's not much. I don't know. I haven't seen anything. They also signed Tommy Tremble, tight end, 2-year, $10.5 million contract to stay in Carolina. I heard grumblings that there were some teams interested in him in free agency, but he opted to come back. Another move I really like. It's not an expensive deal. I think you could still develop JT Sanders, but you get another quality tight end on this roster who showed flashes last year with Bryce Young. So who knows? We may have a ability to throw out a 2 tight end set that has 2 decent pass catchers. So those are the 2 that happened before day one of free agent tampering or whatever. I love how they say legal tampering, but as soon as the news hits of that window, 5 minutes later, someone signs. It's like, yeah, that wasn't fishy at all, but whatever. So, starting off, the Panthers didn't hit right away, but they went ahead and signed Tre'von Moehrig. I believe this is the gem of the free agency gets for the Panthers so far. They signed the Raiders' former safety to a 3-year, $51 million deal. He's a great run-stuffing safety, but lacks a little bit in coverage, but I think that's not the main reason why they got him. I was looking at some of his rankings on NFL.com and stuff like that of the free agents. Greg Rosenthal had him at number 20, number 20 of his free agent list, and he said in his thing that when he was talking to NFL player scouts and stuff, everybody said that he had him too high, that he was probably one of the best players. So I know there's still Javon Holland is still out there at the time of I'm recording this, so we could double dip, and I hope we do, because right now I don't we just have the Damani left back there, so there's gonna be somebody else back there that needs to be grabbed. But I like this signing overall. Again, run defense grade on PFF, 87.5. Pass rush, 70.4. His coverage was kind of shaky, but I don't think that's not what you're getting him for. Overall, though, he's a good starting corner or safety. So he's a good guy. I mean, I know a lot of people had hopes for Justin Reed and stuff. Obviously, at 6'2", 202 pounds, Evero likes this big, hard-hitting corner secondary. And that's what he wants. And that's what this guy is. So Evero got his guy. There we go. That's what we're going to be running with. And hopefully, he proves us. He proves that this was a good signing. He's 25 years old. I mean, 25 years old. It's a pretty pricey contract, but it's also only 3 years. So I'm sure, a lot of these deals feel like they're kind of shorter term deals where they're trying to sneak an ability to get out and have wiggle room a couple years from now. So it'll be interesting how that happens. Moving on, the Panthers also, I should have started off with this, J.C. Horn gave him a 4-year, $100 million extension with $70 million guaranteed. Highest paid defensive back in NFL history currently. I'm sure someone will beat him this year or next year. It's a lot of money, guys. No qualms about that. There's a lot of money there. $25 million a year and $70 million guaranteed for a guy who can't stay healthy. This one, it's a double-edged sword. You sign him to the big contract or he walks. When he plays, he's a top corner in the league. I would say probably top 5 or so, but you got to hope that he stays healthy, and Evero hopes so. He could play lots of different ways. He got his first Pro Bowl last year, but man, injuries have knocked him out for 22 of 51 games. If he stays healthy, this is a great signing. If not, 3 years from now, we'll be saying bye to JC, I think. I hope he stays healthy, man. That's all I got to say. I like bringing him back. I think you have to sign him back. I think you sign the guys, you draft top. I just wish it wasn't for so long and so much money guaranteed, but it is what it is. That's where you're sitting at. Moving on, the Panthers signed Bobby Brown III, defensive tackle, to a 3-year, $21 million contract. Now, I said we weren't going to all talk about this later, but the Milton Williams, the Panthers struck out, and then they went and got Bobby Brown III. Bobby Brown III is a true nose tackle that this team has been needing to fit Evero's scheme. Shy Tuttle was supposed to be that guy, but he hasn't performed there. This guy is a space eater. 6'4", 328. He will clog up the middle. He's a great run stuffer, and that's what he does. You're not going to get gaudy stats. He's not going to get, you're not going to see him jump off the screen watching this game. He's 24 years old, and he's going to fit Evero's scheme. He's going to free up those linebackers. He's going to free up Derek Brown. He's going to free up A'Shawn Robinson. That's his job. Now, Milton Williams, yes, I get it. Moving on from him, though, Bobby Brown's a nice little nose tackle that we can hang our hat on. I think that's a very smart move. Obviously, run defense was a key issue last year as they gave up the most rushing yards of all time. So, I like this move. It's obviously not the first choice we wanted, but I do like him. I think this is going to be the nose tackle that is needed. And at 24, he could grow with Derek Brown and everybody else. This defense is going to be young. All these guys that they signed to shorter deals and are younger. So, look, we're patchworking this defense so that come to the draft, they do not have to reach. They don't have to, oh my goodness, we desperately need a player in this position. And with that said, they went ahead and cited Pat Jones II, edge rusher from the Vikings, 2 years, $20 million. Now, I know, he's not the flashy name. He hasn't been outstanding. He had 7 sacks last year in his first time with that much sacks. But, again, this is a depth piece in my opinion. I don't think he's going to outseat Jadeveon Clowney and DJ Wonnum, but at the same time, we didn't play with them last year. Most of the years, they did not get to play together because they were both always injured. I like this in the sense that you have depth. He's 26 years old. He played with DJ Wonnum up in Minnesota last year. So, again, you can go this route. Now, Josh Sweat, I know he got 4 years, $76 million from Arizona. That's a lot of money. So I think Brant Tillis, our money manager of the Carolina Panthers, and Dan Morgan kind of looked at the roster and said, hey, we want to take a couple big swings, but for the most part, let's fill the roster on defense with some depth pieces that can actually play, because last year when we had players go down, there was no depth behind it from the Matt Rule era, as he was a horrible drafter. So I like this deal. I don't expect him to be anything besides a depth piece. I would still like to see them maybe look into Ojulari. That's another good name out there that I think is a pass rush specialist, and you could kind of rotate him in. So maybe someone like that's a little cheaper than the Josh Sweat. So Chase Young is still out there. I don't think edge rusher is done. I think this is just a depth piece, and I like it. Wish it was a little cheaper, but I mean, with the cap going up, everything's going to be more and more expensive. Now, the last signing here is Michael Jackson. Just signed. Let me pull it up. Oh, I forgot one more. But Mike Jackson signed a 2-year, $14.5 million to come back. Good. He played well. $14.5 million. Even if he doesn't end up starting again, which I hope they continue looking, because there are some good corners in this free agency draft. I like that. You're shoring up. You at least know what you have with Mike Jackson, and for that price, that's a good quality. That's good quality depth. Again, you got to look at the depth that this team was so lack of. And the last guy, defensive tackle from, I can't find his name now. Defensive tackle from the Chiefs. And I am pausing it because of this. Tershawn Wharton to a 3-year deal. This is the only one I kind of scratched my head on. He's a defensive tackle that can't stop the run. He's a pass rush specialist, but he did not really jump out at me when I was doing any research on him. In fact, I forgot his name. That's why I had to look him up here. It's a $54 million. That seems too pricey for me, in my own opinion. I know, Wharton is coming off his most productive season. Again, 26 years old, not shocking. 6.5 sacks, 42 pressures. I mean, I guess he did pretty good there, and he is going to be a rotational guy. I don't see him being anything else besides that. So I guess on sure passing downs, you could rotate him into that line, or you could maybe do some 4-down linemen. I don't know. I'm still not sold on that that type of contract for him, but it is a 3-year deal. Again, something that can happen in a few years, and I'll be gone. I will look him up real quick on PFF. Give you some stats of his. Yeah, his overall grade last season was 56.3. That's 107 out of 219. Run defense was 44.3. He's obviously not good in the run, and he's a box player. So, hey, maybe he'll shine in Evero's Scream, but this one makes me nervous. I'm not going to lie. I don't think a lot of these were big splash plays or signings, but this one just makes me scratch my head a little bit more than it should, in my opinion. Now, the big whiff, I guess you could say, some people are saying it. Milton Williams was reported by Schultz that he was signing with the Carolina Panthers, and then Ian Rappaport came out shortly after, and a lot of people were coming out and saying, oh, no, it's not, it's going to happen. Well, then Ian Rappaport came back and said, hey, there's New England Patriots are sneaking in at the last minute and making a run. So then shortly after that, the Panthers did not sign Milton Williams, the best free agent in the draft. He signed with the Patriots for a 4-year, $104 million, $26 million per year. The radio, WFNZ, were reporting that the Panthers offered him 3 years, $60 million, and that's when, they were trying to, supposedly it was pretty close to being done, and that's when the Patriots came in and upped it to $26 million a year. And the Panthers did not go up that year and go up $6 million per year. And you know what? It's tough, especially when you think he could really help this team. But this team has to be smart with the cap room. So if they saw it and they're like, that's just a little too much for what we want, I mean, you're going to have to pay Bryce in a couple years. You're going to have to pay other guys. And who knows? I mean, we still need another edge rusher. We need another corner, in my opinion. Safety. Heck, we all want a number one wide receiver. I don't think I've seen anybody that doesn't want a number one wide receiver here. So, that's going to cost money. I mean, T. Higgins is still out there or is still tagged. And supposedly, I saw on Twitter that, supposedly Carolina's calling them about the receivers, see if there's a chance of moving off T. Higgins. So we'll see how that pans out. Overall, I think that the Dan Morgan and Brant Tillis did a good job today. Nothing I'm going to, backflip over, but I do think they did a good job making this team better. Better than what we had last year. I think a lot of this depth is needed. Hopefully some of these guys can show that they're not just depth, but right now I see most of them besides Tre'von Morik as depth. And Bobby Brown too. So I think those two guys are the starters and everybody else is just depth pieces. So let me know what you think. You can email us at mailbag@meowmixpodcast.com. You can, I can't speak. Comment on the on the YouTube video. Message us on Twitter at meowmixpodcast. Hey, we appreciate you. We have a draft profile dropping tomorrow, Tuesday morning. And then we have another one on Thursday. But I think Steven and I will try to come back if there's any more signings. Steven or I guess I should say. I don't know. He may still be robbing a train later on this week. So until then, everybody stay safe out there and keep pounding.